to De Palma. How may I help you?
Hi, I'm Morgan Steves. I'm here to see Jackie Collins.
Okay, one moment, please. Our phones aren't working, so I have to go outside.
Waiting in the lobby.
Later.
It's really real life.
She's the diploma. Yeah.
You're not playing the other guy?
This is the diploma. Jackie Collins.
Yeah, really.
Oh, Morgan, I'm
Hi.
sorry.
Nice to
I
meet
forgot
you.
to tell you it was casual day.
Oh, that's all right. Print you out a little pamphlet so you can follow along. Here's my business cards.
Thank you.
Oh, I also brought some donuts to the office.
Perfect. We'll put those in the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
That's the kitchen down
Yeah, I
We
think
don't
that's,
have it. They're in the kitchen now.
bring the kitchen here.
Would y'all like the kitchen passed around?
So it's great to finally meet you face to face. I know we talked on the phone a few times. Thanks for coming. I just wanted to thank you for sending over your policies and allowing us to do a coverage analysis. I hope that we can share with you some things that we feel comfortable helping you with your performance and you like what we have to offer.
Well, you know, I told you that we've got a great relationship with our current agent, so, and we'd love to hear what you have to say, but really, we're quite pleased.
I'm just glad that you're open about us.
Absolutely.
So, I know that we haven't really had the chance to go over who we are at Gallagher, so I wanted to give you a brief history of who we are and then share with you what we found in our coverages.
Okay.
Gallagher is the fourth largest broker in the world. We're publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol AJG, and we specialize in industry groups, which I really like and I think you'll really appreciate as well. I'm in the hospitality niche, which is where New Palma will be in. We service over 8,000 hotels and close to 1 million rooms, with 13 to 15% of the top owners and operators being Gallagher clients. We're also the largest broker for middle market hospitality accounts, so we'll really understand the complexities that New Palma Hotel Corporation has in terms of coverage. Some of the things that we like to do for our clients is get them set up with a group of 5 outside vendors. I would be the first, your broker, and I would oversee this group in your claims handling. We would also set you up with a remediation firm. And I know you had a fire last year. Did your current broker set you up with a remediation firm?
Oh, no, on that fire, Travelers just had a remediation company come out with Belfour.
Were there any out-of-pocket expenses that you had to pay for?
I didn't think we would have any at first, and I know I signed the contract between our company and Belfour, but at the end of the process, Belfour came back and said, hey, you owe us $40,000 because Travelers didn't agree to the rates. I mean, $6 for a bottle of water is kind of insane, but, so they stuck us with that.
Do you mind if I take notes?
No, please do. How would your company handle that?
You know, we set our clients up with remediation firms prior to any claims come through. And the firms that we work with have a special contract with us that says that if the carrier won't pay the fee, then the client won't have to pay it either. It's just clean slate.
So that $40,000
Just
I would.
disappear. Would not come out of your pocket at all. We would also set you up with a forensic accountant, so they would put together all of your losses, and it would save your accountant a lot of time.
So what we would just give them the information and.
Exactly,
Okay.
and they do these claims day in and day out, so they know exactly what kind of losses to look for and how to put it together and everything.
Well, that'd be great.
We also designate an adjuster at the carrier, so you know exactly who to call every time you have a claim. They know the remediation firm, the forensic accountant, so it really streamlines the claims handling.
So would I have that person on every claim, or?
But yeah, it's the same
Yeah,
person,
I
every
went
time you
through,
build a relationship with them.
I went through 3 adjusters on those fire loss.
And in those times that we need case law, we'd help you find a coverage attorney so that, you know, they know what to look for. Obviously, we don't know the terms of laws. And then on loss prevention services, we have a guy in-house who only works on our hospitality accounts. His name's Jim Stover. He has over 20 years working with the Bristol hotels. He has firsthand experience in your industry.
So what would he do for us?
Well, we would send him out to any of your locations or all of your locations, and he'd work with your GM, your engineers, your housekeepers, and just kind of see how they're doing their job and if there's any room for improvement. Like if they're lifting things correctly, if there's slippery floors, how to fix that, stuff like that. Here's some of our current clients, just so you get a better idea of who we're working with right now.
Yeah, Mr. DePalma used to work for Sam Friedman, who owns Dimension Development.
That's interesting. Here are some of our awards. We've been recognized for 2 years in a row as one of the world's most ethical companies by Ethisphere Institute. And then one of my favorite awards is that we're a top 10 best company for leadership. We have this great summer internship program that teaches our interns the ins and outs of insurance.
Well, we have an intern program too. I wonder if you guys pay your interns.
We
'Cause
do,
don't.
and we treat them really well. We send them to Itasca, have lunches for them, it's a great experience.
Yeah, ours are just glad to be here.
So now that I've given you a brief background of who we are, I'd like to move on to the coverages. Based on our analysis, these are some of the areas that we feel we can help you make improvements on for property, casualty, and then a few other ones. I noticed when looking over at your property coverage that you have one location in Iowa that has its own single limit. What we would do is we would put all of your locations under a blanket limit, so you wouldn't have to worry about exhausting any limit for one large claim. Another thing we do is we set all of our policies on an agreed value basis, so you wouldn't have any co-insurance penalties. And I noticed you have a co-insurance. Have you had any problems with that?
Well, on that fire that we had, they talked about co-insurance and that our claim was reduced, but I didn't really understand what that meant. So can you?
Yeah, it's kind of a
explain
tricky thing to understand. So let's take your fire, for example. So your Iowa location is a $1.8 million building, and you have a 50% co-insurance requirement. So let's say you insured it for $450,000 when you were supposed to insure it for $900,000. That brings you a 50% factor. And let's say you got a claim in for $100,000. We multiply the amount the claim is times the factor of what you did pay over what you should have paid, and the insurance company will only give you that amount, which is only $50,000. So you only get amount of half.
So on our loss runs where you saw that claim, that was 500, it was really $1 million loss.
Okay, well,
So
if you had a
you
new
could
value,
you could do it without that.
exactly.
And how much is my premium gonna go up?
Nothing more, it's just for free. And then like I mentioned earlier, we offer coverage for your loss adjusting expenses like the forensic accountant and the engineers. And we also offer coverage for the outdoor property that you have, so if it gets damaged by a storm or something, it's covered. Now moving on to your liability, one thing that really stunned me was that you have an exclusion for Legionella. Do you know?
What do you mean?
Okay, well, hotels have a large exposure to stagnant water, like in your pipes. And if the water stays stagnant for too long, bacteria can grow in your pipes. And let's say a guest comes in and he wants to steam a soup. So we'll just turn on the shower and leave a soup hanging up in the bathroom and close the door. Well, if there's bacteria in the pipes, it's going to come out in the steam and we'll breathe that in. And if there's bacteria in it, you can get a case of Legionnaires' disease, which is a really severe disease. You could die from it.
Oh, my agent said we couldn't cover that.
Oh, you can cover it. It's just if you have a broker who knows how to remove it properly.
Maybe I don't like my agent as much as I do.
I also noticed that you have a limiting coverage for carbon monoxide, so you're covered for hostile fire and fumes. But if the claim comes from herbicides, pesticides, coal chemicals, or your water heater, you're not going to be covered at all. And then also you have an exclusion to any punitive damages coverage.
And what does that mean?
Well, if you have a case in a state that allows it, you can be covered for any punitive damages. So So a punitive damage would be if a hotel has a pool and their gate isn't working and they know that it's not working, but they don't do anything about it. And let's say a kid sneaks in one night and drowns. Well, the hotel knew about it, so the court's going to say that they're negligent, hold them punitive, and give them this huge fine. And if you don't have this coverage, and the state allows you to have this coverage, then you're going to have to pay for that out of your own pocket.
And you can fix that as well?
You can't.
Would that be with travelers, or would you have to move our business?
We can work with travelers, or we can work with any of the other markets as well. And then also, we would recommend getting a non-auditable policy.
Why is that?
Well, if it was auditable, and at the end of the year you had higher revenue than what the insurance carrier thought you would have, then you're going to have to pay them a higher premium, like pay them back a premium that we're supposed to
Well,
be
what
insured
if
for.
I no longer manage that
So,
property?
yeah, if you don't manage that property any longer, you're still on the hook. You still have to pay them.
And you can get rid of that issue?
Yeah, it's a simple thing to do.
You make this all sound so easy.
It is easy. Hotels also have a huge liability for the ADA coverage claims. So you know how ADA just came out with the whole wheelchair lift requirement? I'm not sure if you have this in your pools already, but if a guest finds out that you don't offer this, then they can sue you for harassment or discrimination.
Oh, we decided we were not putting the pool lifts up. There was more danger to that than there was
Well, if a guest
to the
wants you,
exposure.
if a guest wants you to have that, then they can sue you for discrimination. And we can't offer coverage with a third party discrimination coverage.
Do I have that now?
You don't have it right now.
And you can get me that.
We can. We can do all of this. Another huge exposure for hotel management companies is your errors and omissions.
What does that mean?
Well, for example, last year I got a new client who wasn't running annual MVRs, and one of their driver got into fatality on his way to drop guests off in the airport. Well, when the management company ran that MVR to see what had happened, he had like several violations that they just didn't know about because they weren't running the manual. Well, when the hotel owner heard of this, they sued them for failure to work to performance. So if you had this coverage, then it would cover any of the
Anything that
any of the things that
we-
come up with going through court.
Okay.
So now that I've shared with you everything that we can help you with your coverages, I think it's pretty obvious that it's pretty beneficial to work with Gallagher.
What do we have to do next? Because I'm pretty irritated about the whole reclamation, that $40,000. I'm $500,000 behind on that claim. There's no telling what claims that I've had denied because of these things.
Exactly, and we can offer, you have a lot of exposures that are still open or can help you close.
So what would I have to do to work with you?
For me to be able to work with you, I'm gonna need you to sign this broker of record letter.
And what does this mean?
You can keep the clipboard, it's a gift
I
from me
love
to
it.
you. This allows us to move forward and be your only broker. So we're gonna be your sole broker to go scout the marketplace and find you better quotes.
So you'll be able to quote and my agent will be able to quote?
No, see, you're gonna have to fire your current broker to
Okay.
allow us to handle your account.
So if I sign this, you're gonna get all these things done?
Yes,
You promise?
we will try our best to get all of these done for you.
Well, I look forward to working with you.
We look